Like I won't skip out on my training. If something is on my training plan, I'm doing that. Like that's just discipline for me. So that could be regardless of the sleep that I got or the mindset that I have or have I eaten or not. Like I'll be in the pool until 8 p.m.
I'm a super dedicated person once I set my mind to something. So yes, I have to get to the gym. I know it's going to take 2 hours. It kind of brought a little bit of peace, I think, because before that it was like, man, am I enough? Like, is this good enough? Like, you just didn't know.
Yeah.
So then I think I enjoyed training more because I was less stressed about like, am I good enough? I'm like, okay, you're good enough. Now you just want to like show up and be good.
Right.
As opposed to being worried about it.
Like, I just did really well at the RX competitions without like much training, and at that point I was only taking classes, and so I'm like, well, if I started like doing just a little bit extra after classes, like working on my weaknesses, like then I'd be even better.
The Queens of ComTrain, Katrin, Amanda, and Brooke, are some of the fittest women on earth. These ladies, these specimens, these absolute beasts are the top performers when it comes to CrossFit. They share the same program, the same coach, the same hair color, and they all partook in gymnastics as a kid. Take note, parents, this is the genetic pathway to success in CrossFit. So if you want your kids to be good at CrossFit, follow along. And I'm gonna stop you right there. I know before you attack me, you'd be like, Tia-Clair Toomey doesn't have blonde hair, but Tia-Clair Toomey grew up in the harshest environment in the entire world, Australia. Her hair probably got burnt by the sun to absolute smithereens like Principal Skinner's steamed yams.
Good Lord, what is happening in there?
Anyway, in today's episode, we're gonna cover off on one of these three lovely ladies. Let me tell you why she, Katrin Davidsdottir, is an absolute beast. As always, let's talk stats. Now, according to CrossFit.com, Katrin is currently 27 years old. She's about 5'7" or 169 centimeters tall, and she weighs in at about 155 pounds or roughly 70 kilos. Now, according to the internet, she consumes around about 2,800 calories per day on average. Let's talk about her strength. Her personal bests include a 102 kilo clean as of the 2019 CrossFit Games, a clean and jerk of 98 kilos or 216 pounds, a 91 kilo snatch, 140 kilo deadlift, and a 130 back squat as of the 2018 CrossFit Games. Of course, these numbers are probably a little bit slightly different. She probably has bigger numbers, but this is what we can find on Katrin. Now, these may appear as big numbers. However, in comparison to the rest of the competition, this isn't a very strong amount of lifting. Katrin, even though she's such a great athlete, her lifting ability is not on par with the rest of the competition. That being said, the first lifting event at the CrossFit Games in the previous year wasn't until the final stage of competition when we were down to 10 people, and she still ended up coming fourth nevertheless. Now let's talk about competition statistics. In the Open, Katrin has finished in the top 10 twice out of the 8 years that she's completed the Open. At the Europe and the East regionals when they existed, Katrin's stats were: she got a 3rd place finish. She also had 3 2nd place finishes and 2 on the top of the podium finishes overall. That's in the East and the European, and also the 1 year that she did the Meridian regionals back when they existed. She also has come first in a sanctioned event called the Fittest in Cape Town, and she came 4th overall at the Rogue 2019 Invitation. When it comes to the CrossFit Games, Katrin is most notable for her back-to-back victories in 2015 and 2016, edging out both years the lovely Tia-Clair Toomey. Ever since her dominant performance in 2015 and 2016, Katrin has also never finished outside the top 5 when it comes to the CrossFit Games. It's pretty impressive. A total prize pool of overall cash received at competition estimated to be around about $800,000. Katrin is definitely appointed one of the most successful CrossFit athletes around. But let's touch on how exactly Katrin got into CrossFit in the first place.
I have by far and away learned way more from Katrin than I believe she'll ever learn from me.
But I will say that does take something, like you do have to make those choices, and it'll be later, but it's like in this time of my life, this is what I'm doing. So I am getting in all of my training in the day, and that's like, it's not even a question if I am or not.
Katrin Davidsdottir was born on the 10th of May 1993 in Reykjavik, Iceland. Yeah, I pronounced it better that time. Katrin spent 10 years of her childhood pursuing gymnastics as her sport, giving her a great foundation when it came to CrossFit. She also did a 1-year stint in track and field, which also gave her that aerobic capacity required to compete at a high level in CrossFit. Her first exposure to CrossFit was through Annie Thorsdottir. After the 2012 CrossFit Games, Annie Thorsdottir being crowned champion, Katrin and her family were watching TV when it was televised. Her mum and her grandmother pressured her into doing CrossFit, as at the time she was quite lost. After having a year off gymnastics, she was also pondering what she should do next. So then she attended a foundation session at the CrossFit gym in her local area. Fun fact, during that foundation session, it was coached by none other than the real Annie Thorsdottir herself. Having the opportunity to be coached by Annie Thorsdottir, Katrin progressed fairly quickly when it came to the sport of CrossFit. Annie herself saw quite a little bit of her in Katrin. That fire, that competition atmosphere, that commitment to training. Annie saw a champion and pursued and pushed Katrin to getting into competition. Fast forward to the 2012 CrossFit Open. Katrin placed 21st overall in the world, giving her the ability to progress onto the European Regional, where her and Annie Thorsdottir competed side by side, where they both took first and second after a hard weekend. Katrin's worst finish overall throughout the whole weekend was third. This includes going head to head against Annie Thorsdottir herself, giving Katrin her first ticket to the CrossFit Games. It wasn't a great year at the Games for Katrin. Having only completed 2 events before getting cut, it was still a great learning experience nevertheless. Did you know Katrin's grandfather is Helgi Augustusson, the former ambassador for Iceland to the United States? Katrin qualified the following year for the CrossFit Games. However, in 2014, a very memorable moment happened to Katrin at the European Regional. This failure, this mishap, this underestimation of her own ability turned out to be a detriment to her performance that year. Not qualifying for the CrossFit Games set her back mentally and physically. However, this was an opportunity that Katrin took to reflect and be able to overcome that adversity that she faced at the regionals. The one thing that she did mention was not making it to the games last year affected me a lot. I started working more closely with my coach, Ben Bergeron, and he has not only gotten me the fittest that I've ever been, but he also has made my mental game taken to a whole new level. And I think that's the biggest thing. We can all work out and we are all fit. But this year, I've been working so much on my mental approach and just staying in that mental mind game, staying focused on yourself and only the next task at hand. She also heavily related to Michael Johnson's, not Jordan, Michael Johnson's bibliography stating, Michael Johnson was a super dominant athlete in the 100 to 200 meters. He won every single race up to the 92 Olympics. He's never lost. He caught a stomach bug prior to the day, and at the 92 Olympics, he lost easily, getting eliminated in the first round. Very similar to Katrin. Then he comes back in the 96 Olympics, wins gold not only in the 100, the 200, but also the 400. This perseverance and the level of perseverance stuck with Katrin, allowing her to get her mind straight for the 2015 CrossFit Games. Now I hope you guys know a little bit more about Katrin and her journey to become as good as she has, but let's touch on something that I love to do in some of my videos covering absolute beasts like her, is reviewing older content. However, this time, Katrin doesn't have very many older videos, like nothing from her 2012, 2011 days or any of the open workouts. What I did find is 16.2 and 19.2. And what we're gonna do is review them side by side and just see in 3 years how much a games athlete like Katrin Davidsdottir can improve. Let's have a look. Alrighty, so this is Katrin's 16.2/19.2 performance. The left video is 16.2, the right video is 19.2, but you should be able to tell by the quality of the camera. I've sped up 1,000 times just for your guys' convenience. Now, with this workout, it is a great workout. If you're unaware of what it is very simple. So you basically have 5 rounds. Now you have 4 minutes to complete 25 toes to bar, 50 double unders, and then 15 squat cleans at 135 and 85 pounds. If you do that, you get progressed to the next round, which is the identical thing, but the squat cleans go down in reps, up in weight, and they continue going down until you hit the final round, which will be 25 toes to bar, 50 double unders, 7 squat cleans at 315 and 205. Now, of course, with this workout, both videos, she gets a fairly similar score. I think she beats herself by about 20 to 30 seconds in 2019, which is still quite impressive at an athlete at this level, and she's pretty much at her peak, and weightlifting is not her thing. Now, fun fact though, the first time she did this, she came 9th overall in the world. However, the second time she did this, she came 23rd, which just shows how much people have progressed strength-wise in that period of time. Katrin surely has gotten a little bit stronger since then, but it's just a little bit of a difference in strength in those 2 videos. She's much more efficient in the second one, and she just looks more calm in general, which is probably a bit more of a development as an athlete. But this is her final round that we're on right now, so this is the 205 pounds. She makes it look easy on the video on the right, and this will be her last rep there, so she's all done. Video on the left, she's got 1 more to go, and that is time. So it's about a 20-second difference in the work, but what you do see is, even though 3 years apart, she is definitely fitter then than she is now. So just a bit of an overall scoring, just so you guys get an idea of what it actually looks like. And that's Austin Meliano in the background, I think. Looks like him. It's fucking huge. But this is the score difference between the 2. It's a bit of a comparison, so you guys get a bit of an idea. So as you can see, she's done better in 2019, yet she plays worse because the competition has also improved in that time. Pretty insane, right? My final thoughts on Katrin. Katrin Davidsdottir is probably one of the most dominant CrossFit female athletes to this day, and will undoubtedly go down in the Hall of Fame to be one of the greats. Her competition, her constant battle, and her consistency as an athlete has been proven time and time again when it comes to the leaderboard. Her presence on Instagram is also quite phenomenal. She having over 1,800,000 followers. She having over 1,800,000 followers and a large group of women following behind her gives us more things about her body. Let's try again. My final thoughts on Katrin. Katrin Davidsdottir is definitely a phenomenal athlete. It's one thing to put her against athletes like Tia-Clair Toomey, Brooke Wells, Amanda Barnhart, Christy Eramo. Yeah, let's try again. Alright. My final thoughts on Katrin. When we look at athletes, we look at people. My final thoughts on Katrin. When we look up to an elite athlete, we look up to an idol, someone that's going to inspire us, someone that's going to motivate us, and someone that's going to get us to the gym. Katrin is the definition of that person. Her mindset, her approach to training, and her overall attitude to CrossFit is nonetheless something that I myself inspire to have. The sheer willpower to compete year and year again and stay at such a consistently high level is amazing to watch. Even though, yes, she has some weaknesses, yes, she has a little bit to go at the moment to knock Tia-Clair Toomey off her throne Katrin Davidsdottir is definitely a contender for the fittest woman on earth. Being the cover girl for not only CrossFit, but also comp train, for women everywhere, Katrin is definitely one of those body positivity plus people, showing that muscular women can definitely fit into a normal society. And as CrossFit men, we've definitely accepted women like her, like Brooke Wells, like Amanda Barnhart into our lives, and if not, become more attractive than women without muscle. This is also my opinion. Of course, you can have your own opinion. What do you guys think of Katrin? Is there anything I left out? Is there anything else you should know? Finally, I've added in something a little bit new to this episode that others don't have: her own playing card. This is what I believe Katrin is. Comment down below if you think it needs a bit of an adjustment, but this is my personal opinion on her abilities. That's part 1 of our Comp Train Queens covered, done, and dusted. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe as always. Video number 2 is going to feature without further ado, I hope you guys stay a beast.